This episode is brought to you by SmartVestor. Connect with an investing pro near you at RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor.
Brett is in Kansas. Hi, Brett. How are you?
How you doing, Dave? Doing well.
Good. How can I help?
Well, about 7 years ago, you and I spoke on your show. At that time, I was graduating college, moving to a new city for my first job, and getting engaged. And you won't remember that call, but I do. So thank you back then for sharing some hard truths with me. Since then, paid off student loans. Just in about 2 months into marriage, my wife and I were debt-free. So over the last 6 years, had 2 beautiful girls, saved up 20% for our house, cash flow renovations. And today I looked up at my retirement account, and it's at $250,000. And next month I'll be 30. And I just feel so incredibly grateful and blessed. And essentially my question is, am I at a point where I've essentially funded retirement, and because my wife and I have hopes and goals and dreams to build our own house, and when we're done having kids, start a business, and would it make more sense to save that same money but outside of a retirement account where we really can't get to it until we're old?
What's your income, household income?
It's about 140, 150.
Okay. You've done an amazing job. Congratulations. It's kind of fun to get to talk to somebody that 7 years later actually did what I told them to do.
Where are they now? And you're like,
That's
good.
That's pretty impressive. And so I think it worked. And because you listened and you're wise and you're steady and you guys have built a wonderful life. I mean, what you described is a pretty incredible thing to be in your 20s and be sitting where you're sitting. Well, if you put 15%, which is where you are, you're in baby steps 4, 5, and 6, 15% of your income into retirement, you still have room to build some other side money. How much do you owe on the home?
We're probably in the 160, 170 range.
Yeah. Okay. And what were you making when you came out of college?
$68,500.
So your income has doubled in 7 years. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's visit 7 years from today then. And let's say that your income doubled, which really wouldn't be that unusual in your world, okay? And 7 years from today, your house would easily be paid for because it'll probably be done in about 4 years. And 7 years from today, you've continued to put 15% aside. At that point, your house paid for, it's going to be very easy to do what you're talking about without abandoning the retirement saving. So I'm going to delay if I were in your shoes, I would delay what you're requesting for 4 years. And then 7 years from today, you'll have a nice side fund, a paid for house, and a fully funded rocking retirement plan that has probably about $700,000 in it. So I'm going to guess and say roughly 5 years from today, you're going to have a net worth of $1 million with what I'm describing. And because house will be paid for, you're already at 250. And the 250 in 7 years, if it's in good mutual funds, it'll be 500. Plus, you're going to be adding to it. So you're going to be at 500 there. The house is going to be paid for. It's going to be worth 500. You're going to be a millionaire in about 5 years, give or take. And that's pretty cool. And when that house gets paid for, what you can't, your mind, your intellect can grasp it right now, but you really can't, your emotions can't. About the time your house gets paid for, now you're making more money and you have zero bills. The ability to step on the gas and build that side fund really fast, it's going to happen. And because I've watched it over the years and I've done it. And so, because you reach what we call the pinnacle point, where you reach the top of the hill and now you put your hands up on the handlebars and coast down the other side. Your money's now making more money than you make. And that's where you're going to be at that point. You're going to turn the corner there. So if I'm you, I'm going to say no, not today. But I think it's a great question and a great target. But it's probably going to be about 4 years before you get there when the house gets paid off. And then when the house gets paid off, you're going to use that money that you've been dumping on baby step 6 to build your side fund with.
And that's exactly what my wife and I did, Dave. You know, very similar story to our friend here. And we just knocked the mortgage out fast in a few years, and then we freed up that mortgage payment to be able to invest. And once you hit that baby step 7, you can invest beyond the 15%. So still max out the retirement accounts to go do that. But even if you build this side pot like Dave's talking about, I crunched some numbers to give you some hope here. From 35 to 55, so that's 20 years, you're still far from retirement, you would have $1.5 million if you took $2,000 and just threw it in a non-retirement account on the side once that house is paid off.
That's your side fund is $1.5 million.
That's not even touching your actual retirement nest egg. And so like Dave said, you can build it pretty quickly. That's $2,000 a month. If you never got a raise, you just kept that $2,000 a month going, $24,000 a year into a side account. And that's the normal rate of return, 10%. It's what we've seen in the U.S. stock market.
I've collapsed it into some other things, but when we first paid off our house, it was $1,600 or whatever, long time ago. And I just rounded it to $2,500, and I opened a fresh mutual fund with $2,500, and just to see what paying yourself a house payment turns into. I just wanted to emotionally experience it. How fast that account became $1 million blew my mind.
Wow.
Just paying myself a house payment.
Because there's no interest on only the one you're making from compound growth.
Yeah.
But you're not paying interest.
Because the other thing is, you're so used to already paying a house payment, and I was paying extra on the house, obviously, and so I paid it off, and so I just took $1,500, rounded it to $2,500, put an automatic draft on the checking account, just like I was still making a payment, only paying it myself in a mutual fund, and how fast that mutual fund became $1 million was mind-blowing.